next ruler I want to show you is the non-slip Q.S.T ruler, quarter square triangle ruler. And this enables you to cut a square into 4 triangles and then rejoin them together. But the measurement is an extra 1/4 inch, which is a tricky measurement to follow on a normal ruler. So this has been designed specifically for quarter square triangles. So let's take a closer look at the ruler itself. So here we have the non-slip Q.S.T ruler, a quarter square triangle ruler. And 1/4 inch measurements are very useful measurements in patchwork, but not so easy to see on a normal ruler. So we've designed the Q.S.T ruler with solid 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch measurements. And they go all the way across the ruler there. So we've got 2 1/4, 3 1/4, 4 1/4. The 1/4 inch solid line runs across the length of the ruler for cutting long strips, i.e. 1 1/4, 2 1/4. And at the end, the 1/4 inch measurements go up in squares. So you've got 1 1/4, 2 1/4, 3 1/4 and 4 1/4. And we've also put the 3/4 inch measurements for when you want to do 1/2 inch finish size blocks. When you turn the ruler around, you've got a normal numbering system. So you've got 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch and 1 inch, 2 inch, etc. going all the way across. And there's also a 1/4 inch dashed line, which is a good checking measurement as well. So I require a square made up of 4 triangles and I want the finished size to be 4 inch. I need to cut a strip of fabric 5 1/4 inch long. So here's the 5 1/4 inch mark there, and it runs all the way along the ruler. This is a 1 1/4 inch bigger than the finished size I require. So then I want to cut that strip of fabric into squares. So I've got a 5 1/4 inch solid line at this end of the ruler. And incidentally, this end of the ruler is brilliant for if you've got lots of scraps of fabric and you haven't got long lengths, so you can just go to the measurement and cut it and use the square side like you would a normal square. Then, once you've cut your 5 1/4 inch squares, you need to pair your fabrics right sides together, like I've got here. Right sides together, and then as you can see, I've drawn a diagonal line across both corners of the square. And then I want to use this line as a guide and sew a 1/4 inch seam either side, like I've got here. So there's a scant 1/4 inch seam going either side of that diagonal. So now I want to cut across that line in between the stitching lines. So I've got one here, but I've also cut. So I've cut across there, but I've also then cut the triangles in half again. You can see what's happening now. Okay, so when you flip these open, you've got all the quarter square triangles already sewn together. And this is a block using those triangles that I've done here. So there's your 4 inch finished block, and then I've sewn 4 together. And that's how simple it is to use the Q.S.T ruler.